Mr. Congressman, good afternoon. It's good to have you with us.
Good to be here, Barry.
Okay, let's get right to the big issue. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, there are many components, 1,000 pages worth. So which parts are going to be of benefit to the Delaware Valley?
What's going to be of importance right off the bat is the amount of money that's going to go directly to the school districts and to the hospitals, because we're giving Governor Rendell monies that he can immediately pay, that he's unable to pay, in order to give the bills revenue that for Crozier and others, and schools that are laying off teachers or custodians. So that's going to be the immediate benefit, is to help stop the hemorrhaging of jobs that's occurring. Second benefit is going to be the construction that's in there. We have 319 projects in Pennsylvania writ large. We've got about, and I sent out a press release a few days ago, identifying about 40 of them in our immediate area in my district and around it, where you can get people in a fairly short period of time working on construction. The key here is, in the first year, it's going to stop some of the hemorrhaging of jobs. We're still going to go to about 9.5%, 10% unemployment, but it won't be 12 or 13. And then by the second year, 2010, it'll kickstart that economy a bit more. So by the beginning of 2011, we'll be back to a gross domestic product of approximately 2007. And then we're off and we're running.
Well, that's nice that you're mentioning about job loss. Now, why don't many companies practice alternatives such as furloughing workers, say, for a week rather than laying off workers? Because that's almost, if you lose, economy within your area, then you lose business. So why don't they try different alternatives?
Actually, they do. I was just on the phone today with Oshkosh. As you know, they build many of the medical and trucks that you see going around. They actually build many of those trucks that you see Channel 6 and NBC and all using. They also build many of our military vehicles. They are furloughing people, putting some people on part-time, mandating that they have to take so much vacation time, trying to not put as many people off the books. The problem they have is that by their loans that they already have, they have to keep so many dollars in reserve to make sure that the banks have confidence they'll pay their bills. But as you know, the stock market's plummeted. That money was in the stock markets. It's been cut in half. Now the banks are saying, we want you to find more money to build it back up. They can only do it by a variety of ways, and one of them is, unfortunately, laying off people. So they're going through a variety of places, and many of the businesses, like Crozier, is putting some people on part-time. Some are being laid off, but they're trying to minimize the damage until we get this economy going again. And your federal government, in my opinion, is the last remaining AAA-rated safe haven for people to put their money in, so we can borrow at a relatively low rate for a short period of time to give the money to get the economy going again. And that's what I'm trying to work hard on.
Outside, I heard you refer to John F. Kennedy. Now, if you were to write your own profiles in courage, who would you choose to profile?
I like Senator Hagel. He's a Republican senator who just retired from the Senate. I was a Vietnam vet. He asked me to go with him, just the two of us, to Iraq. He also looked at that war as a tragic misadventure, a military man. Now, we have different philosophies, but he was honest, candid, and accountable for what he believed in. And so, therefore, he was ready to recognize that potentially he wouldn't be reelected, but he stood for what he believed in. I also feel very strongly as a person who believed that the future of America begs for accountability, transparency, and a bipartisan approach to our challenges.
Okay, we have about 1 minute left, and I want to ask you this. Since we're at school, so why don't we talk about education? At your Education and Economy Summit on February 2nd, you introduced the Business and Education Secure Tomorrow Together initiative. Interborough is one of the participants. So what does this involve?
Dr. Lois Snyder, you have a wonderful superintendent who's been the leader on this. We have 4 school districts where we are taking companies, and we have approximately 25, and workforce, like union representatives, others, that will come into the middle schools and let the students at that age know that America was built not just on the PhDs, but on those who use their hands. And increasingly in our new economy, their minds and their hands, the manufacturers of the world, the artisans. And so we're trying to make sure everyone understands at that level that, look, science and math is as important for today's welder as it is for a PhD student. Why? Did you ever go to a community college and see how they do welding? You don't just light the arc, lay the bead, and lay it down like I had them in the Navy 35 years ago. What you have to do is sit at a computer and lay off a very sophisticated bead for the higher value manufacturing. So that's what this initiative is, because Delaware County, after it moved centuries ago away from farming and textiles moved into manufacturing. And we've lost, between 2001 and 2006, 22% of our manufacturing industry here. I want to be, and 14% of manufacturing workforce. I want to be part of the generation that brings that back, because that's a solid part of America.
Well, it looks like we are out of time, I believe. But Mr. Sestak, thank you so much for your time. It's a
pleasure to be here,
We want
Barry.
to do this
Thank
again.
You. I want to thank all the students and the faculty for having me here today, and the staff. I also wanted to say that I've been very fortunate to have some of the students from here intern for me, like Chip Ridewood and others. And I'd be honored if anyone ever wants to be an intern in my office, which is in media. We'd love to have you. It's an opportunity to see how a political office works, an office that's supposed to serve you and your parents. So please, 610-892-8623, 610-892-8623. If anyone wants to, some do it an hour a week, some do it every day during the summer. We're just honored to have you see what it's like to help serve others. Thanks very much. This is Joe Sestak. Honor being here today.